Today, we are diving into one of the biggest, most fascinating stories in tech right now, Instagram's incredible multi-billion-dollar comeback. Seriously, how did they pull this off?
I mean, it feels like just yesterday, the headlines were all about a reckoning for big tech. So how in the world did Instagram go from that to forecasting a mind-blowing $71 billion in ad revenue for 2024? That is the big puzzle we are going to piece together today.
All right, first, let's rewind the clock. To understand the comeback, you have to understand the crisis. Back in 2022, a perfect storm hit the digital ad world, and Instagram was caught right in the eye of it.
So the number one problem was this little thing from Apple called App Tracking Transparency, or ATT. Now, in simple terms, this policy made it way harder for apps like Instagram to see what you're doing online. And that data, that's the absolute lifeblood of targeted ads. Without it, you get what the industry calls signal loss. Basically, advertisers were flying blind.
And the fallout was huge. Instagram's parent company, Meta, figured that this one single policy change from Apple cost them $10 billion in lost revenue. I mean, just let that sink in. That is a massive blow to the bottom line.
So after what? A decade of just non-stop, up and to the right growth, the engine completely sputtered out. For about half a year, revenue growth just stopped. It went flat. And for a company like this, one that's built on constant growth, yeah, flat is the new down. It was a big deal.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. Instagram didn't just take the punch. Oh no. It fought back. And it fought back with some seriously impressive technology. So the comeback really boils down to two key things. First, a brand new set of AI tools for targeting ads. And second, they got really aggressive about making money from Reels, their short-form video feature. The big answer to that whole signal loss problem was a toolkit called Advantage+. Basically, Meta poured resources into AI to completely rebuild its ad targeting system from the ground up. It helps advertisers find the right people to show their ads to, even without all that old tracking data. It's like giving them a new set of eyes.
And, well, you can see the results for yourself. They are pretty dramatic. They went from that flatlining $14 billion in late 2022 to a forecast of nearly $20 billion per quarter by the end of 2024. The turnaround is real, and it is steep.
The other hero in this story? Reels. Just look at this. The money coming in from Reels ads absolutely exploded, going from about $3 billion to a $10 billion annual run rate in just about a year. What used to be sort of a side project became a massive pillar of the business, almost overnight. It's wild.
Okay, so the business is clearly back on track, but what about us, the users? How are people actually using Instagram these days? And you know what? The answer here might actually surprise you. So check this out. On average, an Instagram user spends about 12 hours a month on the app. And that sounds like a decent amount, right? Until you compare it to the competition. People on TikTok and YouTube are spending nearly double that amount of time on those apps.
So that brings up a really good question, doesn't it? If we're all spending half the time on Instagram compared to its biggest rivals, how on earth is it making so much money? Where's the win for advertisers?
And here's the answer. It's not about the quantity of time we spend, it's about the quality of the reach. This data shows that an ad campaign on Instagram Reels reaches almost twice the audience as the same campaign on TikTok. So for a brand, that means your ad dollar just goes a lot further on Reels. It's a game of efficiency.
Okay, so this all brings us to the ad experience itself. With all this AI targeting and the big push for Reels, what's it actually like to see an ad on Instagram today? And do they even work? This is so fascinating. It's a real mixed bag. On one hand, people actually find Instagram ads more fun, entertaining, and useful than ads on other platforms. But on the other hand, we also find them way more repetitive, and a lot of us feel the targeting is, well, a little creepy and excessive. It's a delicate balancing act for them, for sure.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Across the board, the cost of social media ads has actually been going down. They're getting cheaper. And yet advertisers are choosing to spend more money on Instagram. It's totally bucking the trend. And that tells you one thing. Brands are doubling down because they believe it just works.
And if you need any more proof, here it is. This is the big one. A survey from HubSpot found that marketers rank Instagram #1, the absolute best, for return on investment when they're selling stuff directly through the app. At the end of the day for brands, it just moves the needle. So putting this all together,
what does this actually mean for all the brands, the creators, the marketers out there trying to make sense of this new Instagram? Let's break down the key takeaways.
Okay, number one, you've got to embrace the AI. Let those automation tools do the heavy lifting to find your audience. Number two, go all in on Reels to get that massive reach we talked about. 3, work with creators. They're your key to authenticity and trust. And finally, number 4, remember that so much of the real connection now happens off the main feed, in DMs and in private groups.
So let's wrap it all up. The comeback is absolutely real, and it's being driven by AI and Reels. Engagement today is way more about the insane reach you can get, not just how much time people spend scrolling. The ads work, they're super effective, but you gotta be careful not to annoy people. And all in all, Instagram has proven it's an absolute powerhouse for social selling and creator marketing.
Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. As AI gets smarter and smarter and curates more and more of what we see, is Instagram's biggest challenge going to be finding that sweet spot between all this powerful automation and the authentic human connection that made us all fall in love with the platform in the first place?